Let us not forget everything that happens. It's by the will of Allah. Holy will. It's time to unite and stand, and we will be the best amongst men. It's not time to be extreme or duty unthinkable, but to stand together as one. Tune into Sunnahfollowers, streaming every day, various platforms. Trust me, you'll find a way. Sunnahfollowers.
Message from Sunnahfollowers. This is from Sheikh Solid. We need to unite. Sisters, wear your hijab, wear your beards, be proud of your beards. Stay home, stay in your home. Stand up, unite, and stand for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
That's right, Solly. We all should stand up in solidarity, not transgressing the limits of Allah, but standing together with patience and understanding. This is Sunnahfollowers.
With dignity, humility, and balance.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Listen, we are in dire need of donations to keep these shows running and available for you 24/7. So that means when you're in the car, it's available for you to listen to. Whether you're at work, streaming, playing a game, it's available for you to listen to. Growing your deed and learning about the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful different topics of Islam. Listen, one of the heaviest deeds that could be placed on your scale on the Day of Judgment is Sadaqah Jariyah. Yes, I know, I'm trying to build deeds daily. So you can too. So listen, feel free, and please, from the bottom of your heart, donate to this wonderful cause, wonderful website and platform to continually push out shows that will benefit you and the Muslim Ummah. Yes, you can donate by going to the SunnahFollowers.net website, pressing the Donate tab. You can also scan the QR code in YouTube on the far left top of our videos that are streaming. Listen, guys, this is very important, and take this as important. We want to keep this programming available for you 24/7 so that you have access in your car, anywhere you choose to tune in to this wonderful programming. Yes, guys, it's all at your disposal. So listen, feel free to donate. Once again, remember, Sadaqah Jariyah, one of the heaviest deeds on your scale on the Day of Judgment. Join us every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern for the Access to Layla Live Call-In and Answer Show. Please join Ustada lailanasheeba. If you have any questions in regards to this theme, call in at 862-370-2838. Now streaming on various platforms right here on Sunnahfollowers. Proper Akida, Quran and Sunnah, Quran and Sunnah, Minhaj and Akida, actions speak louder than words,
Sunnah-following kids, come with me.
Gotta work hard to get to heaven. Treat the people good like the prophet would. Proper Akida, Quran and Sunnah, Quran and Sunnah, Minhaj and Akida, actions speak louder than words, Oh yeah, and don't forget to join us in the 24-hour Zoom room for behind-the-scenes access. You will make awaken you. With Quran and Sunnah by your side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through. You will make it through. The fitra is awaken you. With Quran and Sunnah on his side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through. With Quran and Sunnah on his side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through.
Ina alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Hold on, I see it's lagging. This is the new Zoom. Hold on, guys. Let me fix this. Zoom just updated, and this update they gave, it's messed up. Hold on for a second. Let me see if I can fix this, guys. Take it off of this. Okay, I took it off of that. And let's take it off of this. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is Zoom. Some issue. You know, everybody's in competition with each other now. All these streaming platforms. This is what happened with Facebook, and that's why you can't stream on Facebook to a group anymore. It's just ridiculous. And they're all competing with each other. The world is a competition. Okay, and whatever they did here on Zoom. Hold on, guys. Let me just rejoin because I don't like it. It's lagging me. Hold on. Let me rejoin. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get this. How do you take off this wallpaper they put on here? This is the new update. Oh, how do I change thing? Cut this off. None. Okay. Now let's try it. I took that off. Okay. I just put it on classic. Let's see what happens now. If it'll be doing that lagging. Let me try it again. Whoa, let's see. It looks okay. You guys see me? Okay, there. See, it stopped. Whoa, I'm telling y'all, Zoom has a new update. Whatever that update is, y'all saw what it did to me. It's not, they got it so that if you want to use their updates, you cannot use any other streaming program. This is the competition. This is called the cyber wars. This is what they do. The cyber wars, the stream wars, you know. So you have to be careful with that new update. If you're going to use a new Zoom update, they want you to stream using Zoom, and it's not worth it because when you stream using Zoom, you can't go nowhere with it. So just don't turn them on. Okay, let's get started. put my background here, my regular background. I make my own backgrounds. Okay. Ina alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulallah. Welcome to our first class for today, which is our Aqidah class. And alhamdulillah, yesterday's class was so great because we spoke about what happens. And let's just give a review just to see if you guys can understand the important points of yesterday's lecture. Once your fitra, or the inner light of your heart, has been awakened, which every one of yours should be awakened. We just completed Ramadan. Everybody should be close with Allah. Once you establish that closeness with Allah, what is it? What is it that your soul begins to do? Who can remember? Once the fitra,
crave to be around other Muslims.
Okay, exactly. Your soul is going to crave to want to be around other Muslims. Your soul is going to want to seek out people who live like you, believe like you, who practice this religion, instead of hanging around with those Muslims who did not practice Islam. Those women that don't wear hijab, you're going to now want to find friends who do wear hijab, who do practice the deen. So where do we go? Where do we go to find that?
The masjids.
Okay, the masjids. And what is it that the masjids represent for those of us living in the West?
An Islamic city?
No. We don't have no such thing as an Islamic city. What does the masjids represent, guys? For those
Muslim state.
Okay, a Muslim state or a Muslim community. That's why we call them Islamic communities. Muslim communities. So again, and that's important because, believe it or not, there are some Muslims out there who think that it's haram to live in a non-Islamic country. First of all, there is no Islamic country anywhere on earth. Do you guys really believe that? You can go to the Muslim countries. They have a problem with drugs. They have a problem with sex out of wedlock. Homosexuality is rampant in the so-called Muslim countries. They gamble. All kind of stuff. They don't live by the laws of Allah. There's no Islamic state anywhere on planet Earth. And there won't be one until Jesus comes, because Allah said that. So that's just how it is. But unfortunately, there's a lot of uneducated Muslims who think that you have to live in a Muslim populated place, a place where everybody claims to be Muslim. No, Allah doesn't say that anywhere, and that's not how the companions lived either. And they are the role models for us. As Allah tells us in the Quran, we can live anywhere on this earth as long as you are free to practice your religion. And if you are free to practice your religion, what is it that we would have in the Western world? We would have Islamic centers. We would have our own masjids, our own schools, so we can live, our way of life. And that's one thing about America. America truly is the land of the free. It's the land of racism, yes. I'm telling you, there's no country on earth more racist than America is. I'm telling you, they are the most racist country, always have been and always will be. Okay? But one thing about America, despite its racism, they do allow everyone right now the freedom to do and be whatever they want to do and be. You can be homosexual and be free. You can be a Muslim and be free to do that. Okay, so you can live here. But the thing is, whenever two or more Muslims come together, We have to establish congregational prayer and then work together to establish an Islamic community or a Muslim community so that we can help to save each other from the hellfire. And that's basically what we covered yesterday in this class. And today we're going to continue because what Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid, and I'm telling you, so far, this is my favorite chapter of the book. And you can tell that Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid is an imam, and that since he's been here in America, that he's done this. He has a community that he's established. He's the one that established school systems for the children, online homeschool from kindergarten through 12th grade. He also has established an Islamic university too. So you can tell that he's speaking from experience. This part of his book is him. It's not some copy of someone else. Because alhamdulillah, may Allah bless him, forgive him of his sins. Ameen. He is right on target with this here. So we're going to be picking up today from pages 168 in the book, and we're going to cover pages 168 to 171. I think I put 171. So let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen. And I want the children, any of the kids who are here watching me, I want the kids to watch me on the big screen TV at home. Turn to YouTube and our channel. What's the name of our channel? Sunnahfollowers. And you will be able to watch me live on TV. And while the children are watching on television, I'm going to again request that the parents stay on their phones or stay on their laptops or iPads so you can screenshot for the children, screenshot each PowerPoint for them and print it out at the end of the class, staple it together and attach it to pages 168 of the book so that you and your family can review this in the future. So let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen. Let me first stop this and start with the Zoom room. And I'm going to ask the people in Zoom, well, it don't matter now, I'm putting my screen up, so it doesn't matter. I won't be able to see it because I'm putting the screen up anyway. Okay, hold on. There's new features. Yeah, Zoom that came up with some new features, but this feature that they just got, I don't have to worry about because I won't see it. Once I do this, at least I haven't been able to see it. Let's see. Okay. And for the people here on YouTube, let me show the PowerPoint to you guys now. There it is. Okay. Let me make it larger. So today, and by the way, for those of you who have not yet purchased the book, this is the book, the Diluting Wala Wal Bara Volume 2 is written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. Everybody should know who he is. He's pretty famous. There's a picture of him. You can purchase this book on Amazon. And I strongly encourage all of my students and anyone else following me to don't use the ebook version of this. No. Go to Amazon and buy the book that you can hold in your hand and read. The book is $20. Number one, this book should be a part of your library because this whole series breaks down the meaning of the Shahada, which all of us need to review on a regular basis. And you're not going to learn better than holding it in your hand and reading it, especially with my PowerPoints that accompany it. Number two, I want you to buy the book because all the money from buying the book goes to help support Sunnahfollowers.org. That's the kindergarten through 12th grade homeschool. It doesn't matter where you live in America, where you live in Canada even. It's an international homeschool program from kindergarten through 12th grade. The tuition is very low. We want to keep the tuition low. That's why he's writing these books. So don't be a cheapskate. And I'm talking to all of you. Please don't be a cheapskate and go get the ebook online that you ain't even gonna look at, because it ain't gonna hold your attention, nor are you gonna understand what's going on in it anyway. Please buy the book, the physical book, because number one, you are bettering yourself by doing that. And number two, you're doing charity. You're helping all the children in America and Canada be able to be homeschooled and learn not only the secular knowledge, but also to learn the knowledge of Islam for a very cheap price. And by the way, that's his school. You'll be learning this. The kids will be learning what I'm teaching here in school. That's why it's part of the curriculum. This whole series is part of the curriculum of Sunnah followers. So you definitely want to buy the book, because when we're finished with this, I'll be repeating it again. This is part of our curriculum here. Okay. So today we'll be covering pages 168. And by the way, the book is over 500 pages. It's almost 600 pages. It's well worth $20. This is a 600-page book that breaks down the meaning of the second part of that Shahada that most Muslims don't know. Okay, so we're covering pages 168, which shows we got a long way to go. So about 600 pages. We're covering pages 168 to 170. And this chapter, which I think is chapter 4, this part of the chapter, Sheikh Karim Abu Zayd gives practical tips from his own experience being an imam and having established a Muslim community where he lives. He's given practical tips on how to nurture our relationships with each other. Because now that our hearts have been awakened, and we have trained our soul, it's now about learning how to implement Wala Wal Bara, which is allegiance and disassociation in our relationships with each other. So let's look to see what this section of the chapter, what the Sheikh speaks about. Okay. So again, El Wala. This is the Arabic term that refers to having allegiance to Allah, allegiance to the Prophet Muhammad, allegiance to all the Muslims on earth, and allegiance to this religion, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So al-Wala's significance in establishing strong bonds within the Muslim community is very important. And we can never underestimate those bonds, especially living in a non-Islamic society. Al-Wala, which translates to mean allegiance in English. Al-Wala emphasizes the concept of loyalty, love, and support for our fellow Muslims. It also promotes unity and solidarity amongst us, which is something that we're lacking today. Why is it that all we do is backbite each other, slander each other, we hurt each other? We don't have to worry about the Kafirs. The Kafirs ain't doing nothing to us worse than what the Muslims are doing. This is happening because we don't live the concept or understand the concept of allegiance. But by exploring the importance of having allegiance, that's when we understand our roles in building strong relationships with each other. So that's why I'm always saying, as a daya, We have to get back to the basics. We have to concentrate on learning what La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam means. And we begin with El Wala, because El Wala teaches us to prioritize and value our relationships with each other. It also teaches us to create a sense of belonging and connection with each other. It shouldn't matter what country I come from. It shouldn't matter what language I speak. It shouldn't matter whether my voice has an accent or not. What should matter is the fact that I believe La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And because I believe that, as the Prophet Muhammad said, my life, my reputation, and my property is sacred amongst other Muslims. That means you cannot take my life. You cannot attack my reputation, nor can you take anything that belongs to me, because I declare that I believe La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And by the way, just because a woman doesn't wear hijab does not give you the right to attack her either. Just because a brother is lazy when it comes to his prayers doesn't mean you can attack him either. Just because a person doesn't understand yet that his allegiance should be to La ilaha illallah and not his country does not mean you can attack him either. My life, my reputation, and my property is sacred unless I say that I no longer believe that Allah is one. Or unless I say I deny Allah's laws. Or unless I say I don't agree with Allah's rules. Unless a person says that, you cannot attack them. Does everybody understand that? That's what El Wala teaches. We have to stop attaching, and that's why I put this picture here. Look at this picture. Look at this picture. There's a woman who has a hijab on, but half her hair is hanging out. There's another woman standing there with a pair of blue jeans on and no hijab at all. The simple fact that both of those women declare La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah means you cannot attack them physically, nor can you slander their character and call them kafirs and call them innovators and stuff. There's a couple of men in this picture. The old man over there on the left, he has no beard. You can't call him a kafir. You can't call him a hypocrite unless he tells you that wearing a beard is something that he doesn't agree with or it's not an obligation. Then that's different. This is what we have deviated away from today. This is why YouTube and social platforms have become soapboxes where Muslims do nothing but bash and kill each other with their tongues, because we don't understand the concept of El Wala Wal Bara. Okay? So, understanding what allegiance entails, only then can we unite under the common bond of faith. Only then can we strengthen our community spiritually, emotionally, and practically. And once we do that, the Quran and the Sunnah is supposed to be our two ways of governing each other. But we can't even get to the Quran and Sunnah until we get to Wala Wal Bara. We have to stop destroying each other. I woke up today, looked on the internet, and saw some more bashing. Some more Muslims calling other Muslims kafirs, attacking people they don't know. I said, look at these sick people. This is why Allah has sent war. This is why that war is never going to stop. It's just going to spread, like Allah said, to the rest of the world. Because we've lost it. We don't understand la ilaha illallah. And if you don't understand that, none of your good deeds matter. Nothing matters. We can't even get to the Quran and Sunnah if you don't have allegiance to Allah. How are you going to believe in his books? If you don't have allegiance to the Prophet Muhammad, how are you going to accept his laws, his rules over your sheikhs? Okay, but once al-wala and bara, which is allegiance and disassociation, have been established, then we introduce the Quran and Sunnah within those communities and let those two entities be what governs us. And I hope that is clear. And then what Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd does is he, from his own experience, I can see, he gives practical tips as to how to cultivate strong brotherly bonds in the Muslim community. And look at the pictures I've used. I've used another picture. This is common. We see this a lot. Women come to the mosque, to the Eid, and they take their hijabs off afterwards. Yes, this is a sin. But just because a Muslim is a sinful Muslim, that doesn't make them a kafir. Perhaps those two women don't understand the seriousness of not wearing a hijab. Maybe they didn't have the correct teacher to sit down like Layla does and break it down to them. I can tell that these two sisters are committing a sin, but do I call them hypocrites? Do I call them kafirs? Do I go around telling them that they prostitutes and they going to hell and slandering their character, destroying their reputation? No, that's not for me to do. Does everybody understand that? So that's why I chose these pictures today. So, what are some of the tips to help cultivate or develop brotherly bonds in the Muslim community? Well, Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd, may Allah bless him and forgive him of his sins. Ameen. He says that we should express sincere care and concern for each other. He says we should take the initiative to genuinely care for other Muslims. Show interest in their well-being. Ask about their lives and offer a listening ear when needed. Demonstrating sincere care and concern helps to create an atmosphere of trust and compassion. So when I look in the mosque and see we got two Muslim sisters here, like in this picture, beautiful women who don't cover, I'm not going to just run up to them and tell them, you going to hell. No, I'm going to first show interest in them. I want to win their trust over. I'm going to go over and introduce myself. Assalamu alaikum, sisters. MashaAllah, what a beautiful hijab that you're wearing around you. Oh, it's so pretty. And just, my name is Sister Lailanasheeba. I'm the Imam's wife. I'm going to have a dinner. I'm thinking of having a tea at the mosque, and I'm going to have the sisters come for a gathering, and we're going to learn together. And I want to personally invite you. You see how I'm showing an interest in them and trying to win them over, win their trust over. And I'll have a breakfast tea. We'll have, crumpets and tea and crumpets. My friend Aisha, she'll cook it up. Latifah be there, okay? And we'll all just hang out, the sisters, just talking and laughing and getting to know each other about our jobs and all that stuff, our lives and all of that. In fact, I'll have 3 or 4 gatherings like that. You want to make the women comfortable with you. You want to earn the women's respect and trust before you approach them about what they're doing wrong. And then after several gatherings like that, plus a few phone calls just to check and see how the kids doing. I'll see them at the mosque after Juma, and when they take off their scarves, I'll say, you know, sweetie, you got such beautiful hair, you know, and you know Allah teaches us women, you know, to cover. That's when I'll ease it on them gently. And then I'll give a class on fiqh issues for women. Oh yeah, we're going to have a weekend class, fiqh issues related to women. And we'll talk about, you know, Aisha radiallahu anha. I'm going to throw in some heroines of Islam and all that. And by teaching them how, when the verses of the Quran came down and what Aisha's reaction was and what happened to cause Allah to send them down, that's in a nice way, telling the sisters how covering is an obligation without pointing them out, without ridiculing them. The same way I did my new shahadas here during Ramadan. Why do y'all think I started that series on the heroines of Islam? Teaching my new shahadas how to dress and teaching my old Muslim sisters that you don't have to wear black, that you don't have to cover your face, that the Prophet's wives didn't cover their faces. That's a misconception. They never wore black unless somebody died. The same way I educated you guys, that's how I would do them without singling them out and harming them. Like Sheikh Kareem says, we have to take the initiative to care about others, to show interest in them, and to offer a listening ear to earn their trust, to earn their respect. And then you come at them with the negative stuff in a nice way. Also, he says, another tip in helping to establish the brotherly, sisterly ties within the community is to uplift each one, to support one another. You want to be a source of support and encouragement for your brothers and sisters in Islam. When you hear something good that happened to them, celebrate their achievements. And when you hear that they're going through a hardship, offer a helping hand. And it doesn't matter if the hand is black, if the hand is yellow, if the hand is pink or white. That's a problem because we become racist. We've gone back to tribalism. If the hand is black, a lot of these communities in America I'm talking about America. I can talk about America because this is where I was born, raised, and live. If the hand is black, they don't want to help. The darker the hand, the more they'll turn away from it. But again, that shows our lack of allegiance. But we celebrate the achievements of each other, offer a helping hand in difficult times, and provide emotional support when necessary. Because supporting one another, this is how we develop unity and solidarity. Like I said, the color of the hand shouldn't matter. Okay? The fact that that hand will raise its finger and declare La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, that's all we need to hear. Okay? And also the Sheikh goes on to say we should practice being patient with each other and forgiving each other, not holding a stupid grudge, just like the brother that made the mistake of sending me that email last week. I forgave him. He apologized, and he apologized publicly. So he's back in the circle. He's sitting in here right now learning. He's my brother in faith. I love him for the sake of Allah, and I got a lot of respect for him because he did something that people who have been Muslim all their lives never do, and that's admit that he was wrong. So we got to let go of petty grudges. In any relationship, misunderstandings and conflicts will happen. We have to get in the habit of not holding grudges against our brothers and sisters and forgive and show patience when we're faced with disagreements. We have to approach conflicts with a mindset of understanding and a willingness to find a common ground. Y'all see how I can see that Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd put this together based on his own experiences. And also another tip to build strong bonds in the Muslim community is to engage in actions of kindness. Show kindness to your fellow Muslims. Simply sharing a smile, a kind word, complimenting on a sister as to how beautiful her hijab is. And by the way, we can wear beautiful clothing. I want to reiterate what Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning. Oh, you who believe, wear your beautiful garments to every house of worship. Allah says, oh, you who believe. That means man and woman, children and adults. Anyone who believes la ilaha illallah, you wear your beautiful garments to the mosque. You don't come to the mosque in no pajamas. Well, some of us got some. You don't want to see a lot of us in our pajamas, bro. You wouldn't be able to handle it. You'd have a heart attack, a stroke, in a good way. So wear your nice clothes to the mosque, sisters. Compliment another sister on her beautiful hijab, her ring, her shoes, the henna. Oh yeah, we can wear henna. The nail polish. We can wear fingernail polish too. Compliment her on how beautiful her fingernail polish looks. Okay? Simple gestures like that and giving gifts can strengthen the sense of community and create a positive atmosphere for the people in that community. And also, guys, to help build strong bonds within the community, participate in the activities. And I tell you, sisters, all the time, as a Muslim woman, we get more reward and more blessings staying at home, practicing our religion, the prayers and stuff. But when there's a community event, there's a lecture going on, or there's some type of tea and crumpets or something for the children, try to engage in those communal activities because this will promote unity. It'll promote togetherness. And it'll give you that sense of belonging and connection that you need as a Muslim. So all of this can be done as a means of implementing allegiance. By practicing allegiance, it will bring the help to develop loyalty and devotion for each other. It will also encourage standing by each other's side to offer help, guidance, and support. It'll also build trust, strength, and a great sense of belonging, which is what we all need in order to survive in this world today. It will also inspire us to actively contribute to the well-being of the community. We'll volunteer to do things that we don't have to do. And by implementing these tips, we nurture relationships that are based on loyalty, support, and love for each other. Y'all see that? I really like how Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd put this together. And you can see he is speaking from his experience. So thus, guys, the successful Muslim state or the successful Muslim community is the one that is based on love for the sake of Allah, because that's what wala is all about. Wala means I love everything that Allah loves. And better means I hate everything that Allah hates. But we're talking about Wala right now. To love what Allah loves. And a lot of people ask the question, Sister Layla, how can I look at myself and determine if I'm a Muslim who loves for the sake of Allah? Well, there are some qualities that you should be able to see within yourself. Number one, are you a person of sincerity? Are you a person who's genuine? Sincerity lies at the core of true friendship in Islam, guys. Sincerity involves genuinely caring about others and having good intentions towards others. If you are a sincere person, then you will seek the well-being and happiness of your companions without any ulterior motives, without any hidden agendas. For example, you'd want to help Sister Layla. If a person comes to me and say, oh, Sister Layla, I want to teach on your website. Why do you want to teach? If you want to teach here so you can get famous, that's your hidden agenda. But if you want to join and teach here to help the Muslims around the world to develop a better understanding, that's genuine agendas. A lot of Muslims today are looking out for their own interests. Ask yourself, are you such a Muslim? The sincere Muslims are honest, trustworthy. They keep their words. They keep their trust, and they're committed to the people that they are entrusted to commit to. Again, trust is a fundamental aspect of true friendship. And you all know as Muslims how Allah emphasizes the importance of being trustworthy. A trustworthy friend can be relied upon. A trustworthy friend doesn't break your confidentiality. A trustworthy friend keeps their promises and commitments. So ask yourself, can you be trusted? If you can be trusted, and if you have sincerity, then those are two signs that you do love for the sake of Allah. And then the other quality is loyalty. Loyalty is everything, man. True friendship entails having loyalty and support for one another, particularly in bad times. Subhanallah. I may not talk to Carmetta every day. In fact, I will go a whole year sometimes without hearing from her or seeing her. But I know if something bad were to happen to me and I called Carmetta, she'd drop what she's doing and she'd be here in a heartbeat. That's loyalty. And as Muslims, we are encouraged to stand by our friends and offer assistance and encouragement to them. We're not fair-weathered friends. We're there all the time. Subhanallah, Sister Latifa. That's my best friend in the world. Since I moved back to Cleveland, I've only seen her 5 times. But I know if something were to happen to me, even if she was having a diabetic attack, she'd find a way to get to me. She'd be there to wash my body. She'd be there to make sure I'm buried properly. Subhanallah. You know, you don't need a fair-weathered friend. We need somebody that's going to be there all the time. So ask yourself, are you a person who's genuine? Are you a person who's trustworthy? Are you a person who's loyal? And if so, those are 3 signs that you may be a person who loves others for the sake of Allah. And then the 4th quality is righteousness. True friends in Islam encourage each other to do what's right, to do what's good, to do what's clean. They remind each other of their responsibilities to Allah. Remember during the month of Ramadan, I was teaching my class. Who would get on that mic Every day, I don't care how sleepy or tired she was, Latifah would get on that broke down mic of hers and say, "Excuse me, it's time to break your fast, Layla." Because she knows I'd go on and on. And then after breaking the fast, I'd get back in here and teach. And then I'm getting into the lecture, really getting my thunder going. She'd get on that broke down mic again and say, "Did you make my grip?" Y'all remember that all during Ramadan? You hear it in all my lectures. Her getting on there, "It's time to break your fast." Then her coming back and saying, "Did you make my grip?" A true friend will remind you of your responsibilities to Allah. And they would strive to improve their character and actions. They encourage actions of kindness and devotion to Allah. They play positive roles in helping each other to stay firm upon Sirat al-Mustaqim, guys. So these are the 4 qualities that you need to look deep inside yourself and ask yourself, do you have them? Unless you have these 4 qualities, then you have not mastered what it means to love for the sake of Allah. Everybody understand that? So now I'm going to give you a quiz just to see how well you understood today's lecture. Because again, this chapter of the book so far is my favorite chapter. And I could see that Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd put his heart into this, because from what I have heard, his community is based on Wala Wal Bara. I heard that his Islamic community is one of the best, and it's based on Wala Wal Bara. He doesn't allow a board of directors to govern him. Okay, and he tries to stick to allegiance and disassociation, and they rule based on the Quran and the Sunnah. So let's see how well you guys can answer this quiz. Here we go. When establishing a Muslim community, it should be based on what concepts? Let's hear your answers. When establishing a Muslim community, it should be based on what concepts or what principles or what ideologies? Let's hear it. And by the way, do I have somebody looking on Facebook to give me their answers? I can see on YouTube, but I mean on Facebook, but I can't see on YouTube. Anybody that can give me the answers off of YouTube? And
should be based on Quran and Sunnah.
Okay, when establishing a Muslim community, it should be based on Quran and Sunnah. Okay, that's one thing. What else? Before you even get to the Quran and Sunnah, what else?
The people.
What people?
The Muslim community. In order to have established it, you have to have the people.
The people what?
The Muslim people. You have to have the community. You have to have people.
Okay, well, those people have to have what concepts, what principles, or what concepts, what principles must be presented to the people. In order to have a good Islamic community, that community should be based on what concepts, guys? Letting the Quran and Sunnah be your governing rule. That's one thing, but what else? What is this whole class about? It's based on what, guys?
Sister Sakina said, loyalty, unity, supporting of our fellow Muslims.
Exactly. It should be based on having allegiance to each other, supporting each other, helping each other, having love towards each other for the sake of Allah. As we talked about yesterday, being able to put aside what, guys? Put aside our own personal dislikes and see the good in another Muslim. Instead of us focusing on the negativity of that Muslim, look to see the good in them. What else? Can anybody come with any other concepts? Okay, you guys should have been able to answer that better. That shows me y'all still don't understand that. Let's go to the next question. What about number 2? What role does sticking to the Quran and Sunnah play when establishing the Muslim community? What role does the Quran and Sunnah play within the Muslim community? What role does it play? What's the role of the Quran? What's the role of the Hadith and the Sunnah of the Prophet when in regards to our Islamic community? What are the roles they play? Anyone?
They should be our guide in every situation.
Exactly. They should be our guide, the guidance that we live by. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he should be our example. His companions and how they handle their trials, how they handle their life circumstances, should be our guide, the guide to how we handle ours within our communities. Good job, Precious. And I have one last question. When a community is not based on the Quran and the Sunnah, what happens? What does it lead to? Y'all should be able to answer this, because all you got to do is look at your community, because most of your communities are not based on it.
It will lead to separation. It will lead to what's the word? It'll just fall apart. Everybody will fall apart. Nobody will talk to each other no more. Everybody will separate from each other, look down on each other. No support, nothing.
Exactly.
It'll be every man for himself. Basically.
Exactly. That's why our mosques ain't working here in America. That's why it's not that many communities where you can find this, because they don't understand or implement Wala Wal Bara. It all begins with that. We can forget about the Quran and Sunnah if we don't first have the allegiance to each other. Allegiance. We believe La ilaha illallah first and foremost. Allegiance is La ilaha illallah. We got to do that first. Then Muhammadur Rasulullah. Okay? We don't have that allegiance. We're caught up in racism. We're caught up in tribalism. We're caught up trying to be like the non-Muslims. Okay? So we don't have that love for each other. We're turning our noses down at each other. We could care less about our brothers and sisters suffering or having a hard time. Subhanallah. So as you guys see, guys, we got a lot to work.
Other answers.
Okay.
Brother Abdullah said division. Shamsa said it leads to racism. Jamila said companions that will guide us to the right direction. Sister Goldie says intervention. Sakina said distrust, ignorance, and lack of unity and respect. Fatima said no sisterhood or brotherhood. And Jamila said the community lost without the allegiance of Allah and the Prophet. And then over here, let's see, let me go up here. Fatima, she said, it may lead to misconception and deviant ways, conflicts and splitting. And she said, making us lose to the righteous predecessors, plus it gives a bad image of Islam.
MashaAllah, good. All of y'all got it right. That was easy, because we can look in our own personal communities and see how why they're falling, why they're failing. It's not that.
Can I have backbiting and grudges?
Exactly. Blackbiting, slander, grudges, even challenging the imam, all kind of stuff. It's not that many Islamic communities that that people actually can say, oh, I feel so at home there. There's a few, but not that many, especially since these executive boards have taken over, and most of the people on these boards don't even know how to pray. Most of the people on these executive boards, they don't even know what the Fatiha is, but it's all about the money. So Islamic morality, Islamic values go out the window. Okay, here's the last question. What are some things you can do individually to help make the bonds of brotherhood in your community better? What are some things that you can do individually to help make your bonds of brotherhood better in your community? Go ahead.
You can host gatherings.
Good job. You can host gatherings. Good job. Gatherings and invite other Muslims to them. Good job. What else?
Attending the events that they have.
Exactly. Attending your community events. Going to the the potlucks they have, going to the children's programs they put on. When the imam is doing the weekend classes, going to the classes, even attending the marriages, even attending funerals, all of that. What's some more?
Making everyone feel like they belong by looking after them and showing concern.
Exactly. I always say that there should be a health and welfare committee. Every mosque should have a health and welfare committee. They should have a committee of people that check on the people that you don't hear about. Every imam should know who his elderly women are, who his single women are, and check on them. Have a health and wellness committee check on those single sisters at least once a month to see if they're okay, if they need anything. Elderly women who have no husbands. And when I say elderly, I mean that these women are over the age of 50 and they have no one to look out for them. Check on them once a month to see if they're still living and breathing, if they're not in their house, in their apartment dead and nobody knew. Check on those children. Check on the children in your community. If a couple recently got married, let's say a brother recently married a woman who had children. Keep an eye on those kids to make sure that man ain't introducing nothing crazy, because life happens. Let's keep it real. We should check on each other to see if we need help or how things are going. A good imam should know the welfare of his community. What else? What are some other things?
Also, knowing the talents that you have within your community, who are carpenters or electricians, and, so that you can rely upon your own brothers and sisters to help you in the time of need when you have certain things that need to be done around your homes, or maybe you need to be taken to the doctor or something like that,
That's great, guys. We have a lot of talents that we give to the non-Muslims. How many of us are willing to volunteer our specialties to help the Muslims? I'm a carpenter. I'm a fix-it man. Any sister that needs her furniture put together, because we need that. You know how much money I pay Thumbtack? Thumbtacks get rich off of Layla. Whether than us going to Angie's app, to look for a carpenter or look for somebody to put something together, you let the sisters and brothers know that you're a carpenter, you're a fix-it man, you're a plumber. If anybody needs your service, here's the number posted up at the mosque. Contact me and I'll come do it for you. Fisabilallah. That's a great idea. So there's many things we can do, guys, individually to help build the ties of brotherhood with each other within our communities. But unfortunately, guys, like I said, we're living in the days of fitan, the days in which the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam warned us against, the days when Islam will become strange And when his sunnah, his example will become abandoned and forgotten and replaced.
Can I add something, Sister Layla, to the last point that you had put out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, like in establishing that, being part of that community and knowing who needs what services, being that we're trying to, allow the brotherhood to grow and knowing, the different people in the community, we want to keep away those people who do not have our best interests, like creating and promoting our businesses, because we know we stand on, are to get our brotherhood with fair. We give fair pricing, or we give, we're built on honesty instead of going outside and having the fear of somebody ripping us off or not being trustworthy in giving those services to us. So that's another good thing also that, we look at as far as having that closeness within our communities.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah. Exactly, guys. This is stuff that we really, if you look at the Islamic state of us here in America today and why the people don't go to the masjids, we don't have none of this stuff going on. It's all about money. We've let these executive boards, turn us away from the sunnah into how to make more money. That's what happens when you do that nonprofit thing. You gotta, you gotta have a board of directors. That's why Layla got a website. I got a board of directors here too, but we a website. We don't have all that issue going on. All right. Any other questions or comments? I'm looking at some of the comments here on YouTube.
Answer on Zoom. Sister Fatima did loyalty, encouragement, reminders, helping, especially in hard time, offer meeting and care for the Muslim who needs help and keeping them united, and organize lectures or simple gathering.
Yeah, mashallah. Exactly. Girl, you don't use much English, you can tell. Awa, your accent has gotten ridiculous. You don't speak English, but that's good because you want your children. Yeah, I was gonna say you want your children to learn your language, and you're doing the same thing, Isra. If you guys notice, Isra's got a deep accent now because she's speaking the Somali language to her children, and you need to teach your kids too. Your accent is messed up, but that's good. Because your children need to learn their language. Okay. And you got some French mixed up in there too. You teaching them French too?
Yeah, no, French is kind of hard for them.
Yeah, but just the Bantu. Let them learn that Bantu. They can learn French in school somewhere. Yeah. But that Bantu, I mean, your Gambian language, that's what your accent is beautiful though. You sound like you did when you first started learning how to speak here. You and Israel. Mashallah. Good answers, guys. Good answer, Fatima. Mashallah. Exactly, guys. Now we can see from this book why our masajids are falling apart. We can see why you go to the mosque and you don't feel welcome. They don't understand Wala Wal Bara. Like I tell you guys, learning about all that other stuff is good and dandy, but none of that stuff is going to get you through the grave. None of that stuff is going to get you through that Sirat bridge. Everything begins with La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. We have to learn the meaning of that first. That's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he sent the companions out as ambassadors to teach the people, he said, teach them what La ilaha illallah means first. And only after they understand that, then you go into the prayers. Then you go into fasting and all that other stuff. Most Muslims today don't know nothing about the meaning of that shahada. Most Muslims have never heard of Wala Wal Bara. They didn't even know that that's part of the shahada. Shows how messed up we are. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the answers here that maybe Fame couldn't see. Oh, I got some Twitchers here too. Good job. Good job, Timothy. I see Timothy's answers. Good job. Sister Denisha, wa alaikum salam. Goldie, good job. David, good job. Brother Abdullah, yes, that's a problem for all of us. Sakina, all your answers are good. Shamsa, all yours are good, you know. And Jeffrey, Brother Jeffrey, mashallah, sincerity, exactly. Fatima, good job. Division, good job, Brother Abdullah. Mashallah, y'all guys, Pamela, y'all had some great answers here. Exactly, Sister Aya. Reach out to the Muslims you know. Catch up with them. See if they need help with anything. Good job, Aya. Good job. Be more active in the community, as Sister Fatima said. Living stone best for others as ourselves. Loving best. Okay, exactly. Loving, wanting the best for your fellow Muslims as well as yourself. Good job checking on them. Good job. I want to be a part of a mosque that has an imam. Exactly. That's what we all want. Sister Goldie, she says she haven't had an imam like this since Dr. Dramali left her community. Yeah, Dr. Jamali used to be the imam of her mosque, and she said ever since he left, it's hard to find an imam like that. Yeah, Dr. Jamali, he's one of those imams that refuses to allow an executive board rule over him. Yes. She said Dr. Jamali would greet everybody at the door. He would take her elderly Christian parents to his office during Juma and hug them. Yes, show kindness. Show them that Islam is not a religion of terror. Exactly. Yeah, Israel, you sound like Sister Awa. But I love it because I want you guys to make sure that y'all teach your children. You know, America, that's what happens when you come to America. America doesn't emphasize a second language. So you guys come from different backgrounds. Y'all want to, my sister-in-law is Bosnian, and I tell her all the time, your children should be speaking Bosnian. Teach those kids how to speak Bosnian. Subhanallah. My other kids, you know, nieces and nephews, they all speak Arabic because their mothers are Arab. But I got one sister-in-law who's Bosnian, and I tell her, teach those kids how to speak Bosnian. Yeah, they need to learn their language. Subhanallah. Yeah. All right. Any other questions or comments? And by the way, guys, let me remind everyone, I did get an answer back from Sheikh Saud about his Quran classes. He said that he's out of this country right now, out of the state right now. When he gets back, he's going to let us know what day he's going to resume his classes and also what time. So when he gets back in town, he'll let me know. So just to let you guys know, Sheikh Saud, he will be resuming his classes. And don't forget, on the weekends now, we have Dr. Ali on Saturdays at 11 a.m., Dr. Dramali's classes on Sundays at 11 a.m. And Brother Mukhtar is doing his class on Sundays at 7 p.m. And he's going to, I know you guys were asking me about the Caliphate of Umar, radiallahu anha. Give him a little bit of time. He's going to do that, but he's got to get the information together. Okay, then he'll start that up. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to close out for right now. The next class tonight is at 9 p.m. And that will be the Articles of Belief. Please make sure you guys read the book. This is the book entitled Articles of Belief by Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Atli. We'll be covering pages 72 through 74 on the Qadr of Allah. Very important, because the pagans of our nation are those Muslims who say that they believe in Allah, but they really don't, because they cannot accept that everything that's happening is because Allah willed it to happen. Once we understand what El Qadr means, we'll be able to handle what's going on in the world better. All right, so I'm going to close out for right now. I'll be back at 9 p.m. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.